And welcome back to Virginia This Morning, live here on CBS 6. You may want to grab a pen and some paper for this next one. This creation is perfect for this time of year, so we wanted to share it with you again. Take a look.
We are delighted to welcome our next guest back to Virginia this morning, this time welcoming us into her Green Kitchen RVA. This is Tammy Brawley. It's great to see you, Tammy.
Good morning. Great to see you, Jess.
Executive chef and personal chef, you've been staying incredibly busy here with the Green Kitchen and RVA during these times, and it's great to see you again. We've missed you.
Right, we've missed you too. I tell you, this has been a period, a time period.
It sure has. Well, you're back today with a recipe that really is a taste of the season, but fun in that this is a little bit more savory.
This is savory, and I really like this a lot. This actually has a little bit of a kick to it because it's got some cayenne pepper. I know a lot of people are tired of hearing the word pumpkin, but I'm not one of those people. These are pumpkin cheddar muffins, and they go fantastic with soups and stews in this lovely cool weather that we're having. So I'm excited to make these for you.
It's too early to be tired of hearing pumpkin. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm thrilled, and hopefully with this recipe, maybe fans of the sweet stuff will be able to sample the savory and enjoy it. Let's put this one together.
All right, well, great. Well, we're going to start with pumpkin. It's canned pumpkin. And just so you know, pumpkin and pumpkin puree, you can interchange them in recipes. No problem doing that. Puree just means it's been processed a little bit more. So don't be concerned when you see the two in the grocery stores. Just grab a can of pumpkin. I do happen to do the organic. But we've got a cup of pumpkin here. We're going to put it in our mixer. You want to start with the pumpkin. To that, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of sour cream. Now, I also sometimes will interchange sour cream for yogurt or Greek yogurt. Totally fine to do that in pretty much every recipe. So we're going to put 3 tablespoons of sour cream in here. And we're going to blend that to start. It's going to get a little noisy here.
And that sour cream or Greek yogurt, whichever you have on hand, going in with the pumpkin is just making that even creamier.
It's a little creamy. I think it just adds, and also has a little bit of a tang to a certain extent. But yeah, a little creamy. That's nice and blended. And now we're going to add our eggs. Now eggs, I'm very tempted, as most cooks are, to add an egg right into the mix. You do run the risk of getting a shell in there. So I will give the advice that we should actually do it in a bowl first. So we're going to open 2 eggs.
I love this bit of advice that you shared, Tammy, because honest to goodness, when you had revealed that before with us, I paused. My girls want to get very hands-on now, and they want to crack the eggs. And it's a journey because sometimes some eggshell gets in the egg. So make sure you do it in the bowl first.
But do it in the bowl first. It lessens the risk, I'll say, and you have a chance of getting the shell out where it's not going to be in your finished product. So we've got 2 eggs we're adding to the pumpkin and the sour cream. Then we're going to blend that up pretty well. All right.
And it doesn't look like you have the mixer. The mixer's not up really high there. You're not over blending this.
No, not at all. I have it on a pretty low, I would say not even a medium low, more just in the low setting. I will stop for a moment and scrape the bowl. You want to make sure you get all your ingredients in there. And now we're going to actually add some cooled butter. You want to melt the butter and then you want to cool it. You don't want it too hot because you've just added raw egg. And if you add hot butter to that, it's going to end up cooking the egg. So I'm going to reach over here. I'm going to grab some melted butter. I'm going to drizzle that in. Again, keep your mixer on low. If you have this on high, you're going to end up wearing the butter. I'm going to drizzle the butter in. All right. Now I'm going to turn the mixer up just a little bit, maybe 1 notch. 2 notches. All right, that looks really good. So we'll stop the mixer. And now we want to add our dry ingredients. Something I like to do when I read my recipes is if they call for adding all the dry ingredients together, well, then why not mix them before you add them? So I've got 2 cups of all-purpose flour here. And then in this little bowl, I have salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, and some baking powder. So I'm just going to add that to the flour, run a fork through it, kind of a basic whisk, we'll say.
And definitely with that cayenne, that's where some of the savory and the heat's going to come to play.
Absolutely. It's got cayenne and black pepper in it. I'm always surprised at when I first bite into one of these at the kick that it's got. But you pair that with a chili or a good butternut squash soup, it is absolutely great to do together. I'm going to go ahead and add the brown sugar to that. And the recipe will call for dark brown sugar. If you only have light brown sugar on hand, just go ahead and use it. It's totally fine. I would not go out just to buy one sugar if I've got all the other ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and add the brown sugar to the dry mixture. And then I'm going to turn the mixer back on, and I'm going to let it go kind of low. Again, you want to do low because you might end up wearing it. And we're going to go into the mixer with the dry ingredients. As it starts to thicken, which you'll see, as it starts to thicken, you might want to turn the speed up a little bit. Right. All right, that's gotten in there very nicely. We're letting that blend up. You can hear the mixer sort of slowing down a little bit. That means it's definitely thickening. And now our last ingredient is going to be about a cup of cheddar cheese. Cheese of your choice. If you like it really sharp, then add a really sharp. If you don't like it sharp, then don't add. I've done Monterey Jack in these before. They're really good, but this does happen to be a very sharp cheddar. You want to add about a cup, and you actually do want to reserve just a little bit because halfway or maybe 3/4 of the way through baking, then you're going to top them with the remaining cheese and then put them back in the oven long enough for the cheese to melt. So what I've got here is I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. Doesn't take long to blend this. I turn the heat up or the speed up just a little bit. Everything is together. You don't need to blend it very long once you add the cheese. So you take your beater blade off. Make sure you scrape that delicious bits of goodness off of that beater blade. You don't want to waste that. So I would like, if you can see the mix, can you see that? Now what you definitely want to do is go in here and get it with a spatula. Make sure that you get it around the edges. It's a fairly thick dough if you can see that. And there's nothing wrong with that. We are making muffins, okay? This is not like a light and airy cake. We're doing muffins. All right, so now once we have that totally mixed together, then we're going to portion it into our muffin tins. Now I'll show you a little trick that I love. And that's these little things called silicone baking cups, right? These are great. You can certainly do the paper ones. There's nothing wrong with that. But once they've baked in the silicone muffin cups, they actually pop out very, very easily.
That's a great tip. I've seen those silicone cups before, but had not ever used them. So glad to know you're a fan.
I have the little mini ones. I have the regular size, and then I actually have the jumbos. And they're great to use. Phenomenal. So now we have a portion scoop or an ice cream scoop, whatever you think you can get that out with. I think a portion scoop is easier because it's got a spring operation. So we're going to go in, and you're going to fill each.
And Tammy, we're just about out of time. So you've done that perfect portion. You're scooping them in.
Yep. Let me give you the finishing touch since we are out of time. You want to have some pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds, all right? They sell these in all of the grocery stores. You've got some pepitas. Chop them on top of your muffins. Put it in, I think it's a 350-degree oven, if I'm not mistaken, for about, it said 20 minutes. Put them in there for about 15 minutes. Pull them out. Sprinkle a little bit more cheese on the top, and then put them back in the oven for that last 5 minutes. And what you come out with is this gorgeous finished muffin with the cheese and the pepitas on top. Break that open, a little bit of kick there with the cayenne, maybe a little butter, and serve it with soup, and it will warm you right up for these fall temperatures.
I'm feeling warmed up just by going through the steps with you. Thank you so much, Tammy. Great. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jess. Good to see you guys again.
Great to see you. And Tammy has shared this recipe with us. We'll share it with you, posting it on our website later today, WTVR.com/VTM. Tammy Brawley of the Green Kitchen.
Thanks.
Wow.
Well, Bill, this is a recipe I can definitely get behind. I mean, using pumpkin in all ways, making delicious muffins, muffins and carbs and breads are my favorite. I don't know about you.
So do you have the little cups that she was talking about, these, what are they, silicone cups that they, instead of the paper cups? Do you have those to fit in your muffin
No.
pan?
So I have not made that switch yet, but I've heard that they make things so much easier. So I definitely have to grab some.
Yeah. There was a couple of really good little tips in there that somebody like Tammy would have that the rest of us don't know, or, she's just learned from doing all these years. And one of them was, she looks at and I'm guilty of this too, of not reading ahead in instructions and reading all the instructions first. And she said, if it calls later in the recipe to mix all your dry ingredients, why not go ahead and do that first and have that ready, so your eggs and your milk and all the other stuff that isn't sitting there while you're putting together your dry stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, wow, that's a big help. Yeah. So are you a baker? Do you bake?
Sparingly. I always say that I'm going to bake more than I do. And I have all kinds of supplies for baking, but I can't say that I spend as much time doing it as I want to. So this may be just the inspiration I needed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's breaking news for you. I'm sure you'll be shocked. I'm not a baker.
Well, we've got to have people in different roles, Bill. We have to have those who bake. We have to have those who do the quality assurance, right? So, I mean, it's very important that we have people to do the taste testing, and I think you are more than qualified for that.
Okay, so I'm not any of those. I'm in those who eat category.
So don't give you a taste. You want the whole thing. All right, well, that's the third category, the end user, if you will.
Those who eat and those who enjoy. I'm on that end of the scale. And I always try to be very appreciative because I can't do that. So, yeah. Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you. Do it again, please. You know what we're going to do again? We're going to come right back after a quick break.